What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Savvy, and welcome back to the Savvy Show. And in today's episode, this is going to be interesting because reading the title and the thumbnail, this is one of my first times I'm left without any idea what this SCP will be about. And that's not common on this channel, man. So without any further ado, this is SCP-3449, The Things Left Unsaid. So yo, I didn't know what to expect, but word on the street is this one has a pretty good story and is really captivating. So let's see if this could be potentially a juicy one. So if you guys are excited for this reaction, please remember to smash that like button, beginning, middle, end of the video, and also remember smash that sub button, join the family. We just recently hit 6,000 subscribers. We're so close to the goal, which is 10K by the end of the year. Let's see if we can get it done like a family. And if you guys have not made that jump and haven't subbed yet and you've been watching multiple videos, please make this video the video for you to commit and join the family. I'm telling you, if you like SCP content, you like my reaction style, this will be the best place to be on the tube to get your fix of SCP heat, and you will not regret it. And also remember, smash that notification bell so you do not miss an upload. And now, without any further ado, let's get this show started. Alrighty, SCP-3449, The Things Left Unsaid. Let's go.
What is your favorite word? Think about it for a moment. Think real hard. Write it down in the comments. Post it for everyone else to see.
I have a lot of favorite words, to be honest.
How many letters does it have? How many syllables? Say it aloud. How does it sound?
Mine will be probably one of my favorite words I can think of right now is grandiose. I like that word a lot.
How does it feel on your tongue? Really
Grandiose.
think about it. Now make sure you keep that word in mind. It's important, and we'll come back to it later. For now, it's time to talk about SCP-3449. Look, there's really nothing any special about this one. It wasn't even important enough to be mentioned with the other info hazards. It's not an evil talking toaster, that's for sure. SCP-3449 appears to just be a standard spiral notebook. Notebook?
Notebook?
It's supposed to be notebook, right? Anyway, it's just a standard spiral notebook with a dark blue cover. It's safe class, and it's stored in a standard containment locker in Site-19.
What is going on?
There aren't any other containment requires, but testing is currently underway to determine. I think it's meant to be determine long-term containment requirements.
Bro.
This is a mess. Anyway, this item and its anomalous power is actually considered so inconsequential that researchers have explored the possibility of putting it on the anomalous items log, a place where items too useless to warrant a full file ends up.
Damn.
How do you misspell up that badly? It's 2 letters. Well, it's supposed to be 2 letters.
What the heck is going on?
Into that. They aren't even close to each other in keyboard.
Is this SCP like taking words from people's vocabulary or something, or from their knowledge?
Man. Anyway, the notebook contains mostly blank pages. Some are torn, and only 6 contain actual writing. But due to the formatting of the writing, the text, consisting mainly of diary entries, is almost unreadable. This is due to syntaxical errors, random capitalization, and rampant misspellings? Great, you misspelled misspellings. How cute. Apparently, all attempts to correct these misspellings fail, or even lead to additional misspellings. This anomalous effect extends to anyone attempting to write... Yep, that was spelled R-I-G-H-T.
What?
Anyone attempting to write about SCP-3449.
That's not the right
the script for this video, apparently.
Dude, this is going to be tough to get through, because I know this SCP is probably doing something with the wordplay and everything, but... It's going to be hard for them to explain what this SCP is about if they can't even explain it themselves.
There are no further notable anomalous properties. Tests are ongoing, though those with any inquiries about testing SCP-3449 should contact lead researcher Nicolo Gurdnell. The notebook, which was spelled even worse this time, impressive, was first recovered by MTF Epsilon 6, also known as the Village Idiots, after a series of info-hazardous and cognito-hazardous phenomenon were discovered in the Pittsburgh metro area.
Dude, I got a good info-hazard SCP I want to be, dropping soon. So stay tuned for that one, guys.
The source seemed to be a storage unit filled with anomalous items, and SCP-3449 was amogus. I think that's meant to be among them. The storage unit was registered to a man by the name of Edward Selsborough, currently designated as Porpoise of Interest 4335.
There's a Among Us sound.
That's the end of that.
Wait, what?
Thanks for watching the video, folks. Now go check out... Oh, wait.
What is...
more? Phenomenal. Let's keep going. Apparently, that version of the file was an older one.
Yo, this
Let's
is
check
getting
the
kind of
next one
tweaky.
and see if that's any more useful. Oh my. It appears that the updates here are actually quite extensive. Okay, let's give this another try. SCP-3449 is a Euclid-class SPC kept in the humanid containment cells of Site-19. Items affected by it are kept in standard storage lockers for safe-class anomalous objects at the same site. The primary reason for this shift is that SCP-3449 has changed its object of designation. It is no longer the Spiral Notebook. It is now a 34-year-old Caucasian man known as Edward Salzburg, formerly known as Person of Interest 4335.
How do you do that?
He is believed to be the creator of the Notebook, as well as other objects found in the storage looker in Pittsburgh.
Looker?
Foundation personnel are now trying to locate and contain any other objects created by Mr. Salzburg, though success has been limited on this front.
Limited?
That was cute. SCP-3449's analogous abilities manifest onto both Edward himself and all the objects created by him. Reading about him or any of these objects will result in syntactical errors, arbitrary capitalizations, and rampart spellings. Attempts to revise or correct the writing will either fail to remove the errors or create new errors.
Oh, okay, so when you try to correct the errors, it makes it worse. So that's why he was saying before it was spelled even worse than the first time, because it's the anomalous traits of this SCP.
It appears that the anomalous effects of SCP-3449 proper are more severe than that of the ones caused by his anomalous objects. MTF-Epsilon-6, also known as the Village Idiots, apprehended SCP-3449 in his apartment just outside of Pittsburgh. He appeared to be in an advanced state of disorientation and dehydration.
Damn.
Records collected by the Mobile Task Force found that Mr. Selberg had not left his apartment in over 10 days, which would account for his dire health conditions. Salzburg did not communicate with Mambas of the Mobile Task Force, but did not reset arrest and subsequent containment either. Okay,
I mean, look at him.
These spellings are rough, but I'm going to try and power through. I am a professional, and we're almost there.
Oh my god.
The following is the full log of items obtained from SCP-3449's storage car that also exhibit his anomalous effects. The notebook, as already discussed, the pages are either blank, torn, or illegible. Salzburg's computer. Files saved on this device include spreadsheets dealing personal finances, ideas for products, and an unfinished horror novel that is almost unwritable due to the poor quality of its writing. Grocery list had only 2 written items. Booter was spelled with only 1 T, and medication, which was spelled medication.
So it seems like this person itself, Edward, he is an SCP with these anomalous traits, and he's somehow putting his anomalous powers within the things that he creates. That's why the power of his anomalous abilities are higher than the book itself, because it originates from Edward. That's what I'm gathering so far. I could be wrong.
A planner. Last entry was dated 2 weeks before containment, and believed to contain reminders to perform various chores. However, a mixture of poor handwriting and word choice allows for other interpretations. And finally, Mr. Salzburg's cell phone. Foundation researchers were also able to collect the call logs in hopes of further tracking Salzburg's pre-containment activities. The last 3 calls, which were all made on the same day 2 weeks before containment, dialed different numbers, only one of which was in use. The Foundation made contact with the receiver of said call, who had no knowledge of SCP-3449, and claimed that they did not answer the call. Lead researcher Nicolo Gurdinel conducted the first interview with SCP-3449 shortly after his capture. When he entered the interview chamber, he found that SCP-3449 was just sitting in the corner, with his head in his hands, rocking back and forth in what appeared to be apparent distress. He then began looking down into his lap and twiddling his thumbs like a child. Nicolo engaged him in a calm and polite tone, addressing him as SCP-3449. The anomaly made eye contact with Dr. Gurdinel, but he didn't respond, and instead continued staring at him. As Gurdinel asked further questions, Salzburg simply didn't answer, or would, at the very most, acknowledge the questions with simple gestures. Gurdinel asked whether Salzburg was making products for his business, to to which he smiled and shook his head.
I wonder if his products is like, you know, the notebook and other things that he made for his, you know, his job online.
Gardnell then asked Salzberg whether he could speak or not, or if it was merely a choose on his part. Unsurprisingly, Salzberg offered no explanation, and the interview came to a close.
You probably can't
shortly
understand
afterwards.
anything if he speaks.
Tests are still ongoing to find out if Salzberg's inability to speak or communicate come as a result of his anomalous traits, or if this is simply a result of apophonia, a uncommon but non-anomalous condition that renders its victims unable to speak. Tests have confirmed that Salzberg does have all the organs required for vocalization, but appears to not use them. Further tests are required. Alright, there we have it. That was a complete
It's not over, is it?
read thanks to SCP-3449's anomalous effects, but at least it's over now.
Better grammar.
Now,
Just
go
a
check
joke?
out... Wait, there's more. Another update to the file. Good, okay. Alright, let's go take a look.
This is kind of rough.
I see. This is a lot more dangerous than I thought. I suppose I better read on. SCP-3449 has been upgraded to Keter Class Anomal.
Keter?
SCP-3449-A. The new designation for Edward Salzberger is to be kept in a high-security hazmat containment in Site-19. The inanimate anomalous possessions of Edward Salzberg are to be kept in standard object containment. Any reports written on SCP-3449 must be rotten by people who have been exposed to it for less than 7 days in order to keep the files rateable. To prevent this infectious info-hazmard from spread further, the number of people allowed to interact with this anomaly is kept relatively small and consists of those that have already been exposed at some point or another. This includes O5-8, MTF Epsilon 6, Dr. Teller's research team, some additional personnel selected for XPC-3449 research, and personnel chosen to update SCP-3449 documentation. Some additional personnel selected for XPC-3449 research and personnel chosen to update SCP-3449 documentation. While Edward Salzberg and his personal effects are chronically locked up, SCP-3449 is not currently considered contained.
What?
Research into the spread of SCP-3449's effects, the vectors for transmission, and any potential remedies for its degenerative effects are now top priority for all involved, before this whole thing gets out of hand. Further research has taught the Foundation that not only are Salzberg and his items powerful info hazards, their anomalous effects appear to be able to infect these who experience them permanently.
That's why they say he's not really contained, because his effects could go to other people, and they can spread that information, and it'll just keep on going like a virus.
Initially, it will appear that writing quality only degrades when the subject is actually writing about SCP-3449 itself, but over time they'll come to the frightening realization that it actually affects their writhing as a whole. The effect also progresses in its severity over time, eventually rendering the victim's ability to write legible sentences completely destroyed. The initial anomalous effects of SCP-3449 were discovered when MTF Epsilon 6 writes their field reports on the mater and found it littered with syntactical error, random capitalization, and rampant implillings. Similar errors appearing in the initial fail about SCP-3449 only serve to reaffirm this observation. However, researcher only began to notice true extent of SCP-3449's effects when the Village Idiot's field reports concerning other Solomines came in with equally atrocious writing. Attempts to correct this writing simply led to more mistakes and frustration on part of team. Soon after, a researcher named Dr. Teller, who'd since taken over the SCP-3449 case, and his team found that they were experiencing similar issues. They couldn't just make the blurs happen, no matter how hard they concentrated. They forgot spellings. They couldn't make hand move in the manner they waited to in order to form the words. Even the most intelligent and articulate members of the team came across as extremely young children on page.
So that's why he can't really talk. It's like you're de-evolving, pretty much. You can't do simple motor functions. I'm assuming that's the same with like your vocal cords. That's why Edward couldn't talk, maybe.
But didn't stop there. Wasn't long before researchers who'd never worked on the SCP-3449 case started to exhibit these same suspicious errors in own writing. The Foundation didn't know how, but this slickness was starting to spread, with people's abilities to write degrading across the entire Foundation. That's when a Foundation web trawler picked up something even more disturbing. Global literacy seemed to be taking a dive. The telltale synectical error, random to capitalization, and rampant linguist spellings tipping up everywhere and for everyone. And the end of writing would be one thing, but SCP-3449 doesn't stop there. No, that's just the beginning. Morse code go next, then pictograms, not long for sign language become hopeless scrambled.
Well, that makes sense. Motor functions.
Communication breaks down little by little. People can't draw anymore. Can't move right hands. Call goes. Calls. Codes.
They literally be evolving. That's why we see cavemen.
Voice. Talking gets hard. Remember favorite word? Think about it. Say it loud. When SCP-3449 done. When everyone infected. You'll never say again. Nobody will ever say again. Now go check out Minecraft World Destroy.
Wow, that was really interesting. I could tell that they put a lot of work into this one because, I mean, it was a pretty decent story. It was like different chapters of the file, and the way they handled it, it was interesting because it was so unlegible. That's why it was so many different updates. So it all flowed together. This was really cool. It was kind of hard to get through because you could barely understand it. You really had to focus, but I enjoyed it. This was really, really dangerous. Oh man, probably one of the most craziest info hazard SCPs. One of them. There's going to be a crazy one that I covered recently that's going to be dropping soon, but this is up there though. But with that being said, if you guys did enjoy this reaction, please let me know by smashing that like button and let me know what your favorite word is. So yeah, so with that all out the way, unfortunately that concludes today's episode though. However, I'll catch you guys on the next one.